College football is back. That's right, man. Welcome into the Fan Addict. It's the SEC Snap Count on the Fan Addict Sports Network. I'm your boy, Coach I, man. The best time of the year for any sports fan, in my opinion, is college football. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
No, I got you on this one, Coach. It ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. But we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, A64. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what I see.
I'm talking sports, so I call what I see. What's going on, people? This is the SEC Snap Count on the Fan Addict Sports Network. College football's back. Stat guy, what's up?
What's going on? Hey, man, look, 3 days until more college football, 4 days until SEC, and 5 days until me and you are parked on the couch for about 14 straight hours.
Hey, it's the best time of the year, man. Get you some good food, man. Watch some good football, man. Listen, just a side note, YouTube and Fox are beefing it out. So the Texas-Ohio State game, Baylor-Auburn game on Friday, and possibly, I don't know what channel the Colorado-Georgia Tech game come on. It might be ESPN. But if they don't reconcile by Wednesday, then you're going to have to download the Fox Sports 1 app, or you're going to have Spectrum or Charter or whoever your local internet provider is, or Hulu Live TV or something like that. Figure it out, man, because I think these games are going to be banging this week, man. If you are new here, we are the Fan Addict Sports Network, man. It's the SEC Snap Guy. I'm Coach I, and that is the Stat Guy, and we're here to talk all SEC football. We bringing it to you this year, Monday through Thursday, 8 o'clock. On Mondays and Wednesdays, we got the SEC Snap Count with me and the Stat Guy. On Tuesdays, we got Respect the Hedges, talking all things Georgia football. And on Thursdays, our new show for the 25 seasons, the Stat Line, with our guy, the Stat Guy, talking all things South Carolina football. This Thursday, he'll be previewing that Virginia Tech game in detail with a Virginia Tech media member, I would say, from Tech Sidelines on YouTube, talking. They cover all things Virginia Tech. That's what we're gonna do, man. We here, Stat Guy, this season. What you thinking, Fan Addicts?
Man, I'm thinking it's nuts. We going bigger and better than before. Man, I hope the fans out there are ready, because Thursdays they might see the side of you try to hold back sometimes. You ain't gonna have me on the leash. It can get wild on Thursday nights.
And we're going to have some former South Carolina players, maybe some other South Carolina fans, some rival fans. It's going to get crazy. Listen, I'm interested to see how it go. I know it's going to be a hit. But without further ado, man, we're here to talk about what's happening in week one, man. Most recent news, we had the SEC going to 9 games. Then we're going to talk about SEC contenders that might can get to the championship game and the conference championship game. And then we're going to talk about our SEC playoff picks. That's going to be 4 teams that we think got the best shot to make the playoffs. Let's start it out, man. SEC going to 9 games. Stat. What is so there was a contingent on social media that said Greg Sankey got punked. Now, some of that contingent was coming outside the SEC. Some of the SEC fans said we bow down to the Big Ten because they've been calling for 9 games. Others say it's a power play. Waiting on the money, waiting on the check to clear. What's your take on the SEC going to 9 games?
Man, look, we know that college football is ran by the almighty dollar, and ESPN, I'm sure, added some zeros and some pennies to that monstrous amount they're already paying us to say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if y'all played 9 games a year? And that's an easy decision. The thing is that I don't understand is They try to talk down like, oh, y'all only play an 8-game schedule, but the 8 games that people have are tough. Like you don't get all the cupcakes. You might get some, but you don't get all the bottom feeders and then one hard game. And then on top of that, the conference, while they may not travel, they do play other Power 4 programs, at least in the Southeast, or they invite them to a neutral site, something. So I'm more excited about the fact that they've not only going to 9 games, but are forcing everybody to play another Power 4 game on top of it. To me, I think that's going to be the big thing. You know, both of our teams over the next 10 years already had 11 Power 4 games scheduled every year anyway. So it doesn't affect Georgia and South Carolina. So
yeah, and then I think Greg Sankey said that because of the teams such as I think Beamer, Kirby Smart, Sunbelt Billy down there in Florida, and Stoops. They like, okay, we can go to 9 games, but we already got built-in rivalries inside the state that come from the ACC. So we need to make sure that the other 12 of these guys are playing at least one other, game outside of the conference against a Power 4 or Notre Dame. But then also it came timely right after the College Football Playoff Committee said, okay, we're going to take a serious look at strength of schedule. So Greg Sankey said, okay, well, we really looking at strength of schedule. We're going to schedule a whole bunch of hard games. Now when we go 9-3, you can't leave us out. So I think it was a pretty good move. As a fan, I don't even think, why would you even be mad as a fan? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, dog. Like, what, another SEC game? Like, come on, man. We talking about good football.
Right. You talk about now that third week where there's maybe 2 or 3 conference games, or the week before where like the South Carolinas, the Auburns, and the Alabamas of the world traditionally have cupcakes. Maybe that turns into an SEC game. So 2 of the weaker weeks in SEC are now going to become monstrous. And it's like, sign me up for good football. I wish they would do away with that. Personally, I want them to play a money game in the spring to help out the local college.
Yep.
And let's go to 12 Power 4 games, and we'll see. We'll see at the end of the 12 games. I don't care if you 10-2. Was it the right 10-2? Who did you beat? Who did you play?
I'm thinking the same thing. Let's go. Everybody, like, now we're waiting on the ACC to go to 9 games. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got 9 games. And then the other 3 games, you got to play a team from another Power 4 conference. You play one against, like, the SEC would play one against the Big 12, one against the Big 10, and one against the ACC. And I know sometimes in some years we'd be like, oh, well, somebody's 3 out of conference games is, Boston College, Texas Tech, and Rutgers. So be it. It's still Power 4 games. So sign me up for. I'm like you. Sign me up for the all Power 4 schedule and bring in the money game for the spring. Play your kind of like in the spring. Kind of play it like the NFL preseason. You play your starters in the first quarter, and then whatever happens, play all your backups in quarters 2 through 4. The fans get a show. The small school gets their money, their fans get a show, make it a day, tailgating and all that kind of stuff, and put it on TV. Now everybody's, you know what I'm saying? So, and
then maybe you do it in the spring, and then you do another one during fall camp. Because let's be real, all these schools have schools that are close to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least in the SEC anyway. Like, everybody's got a small college close to them. For South Carolina, you got South Carolina State. You got Wofford right up the road. You got Furman up the road. Like, bring one of them in during the spring, bring one of them in during the fall, and have another one during fall camp. Even if it's not like traditional, you give them a little bread and say, come practice with us so we can beat up on your guys instead of our own players.
Right. I like that. In the spring, let's do just a regular scrimmage game, kind of like how you do your scrimmage. You just going against the other team. And then in fall, bring another team, another small school, and bring them in to practice with you, give you a good look. That instead of, having your second or third guy, maybe for the first scrimmage, you know what I'm saying? That way you can get that out the way and then practice hard. So I like the idea of us going to 9 games. I've always been with it. Some schools, we out here, like you said, South Carolina, Georgia, to Alabama, Florida, we are here playing, OOC against the P4 anyway. So it's like, why not? Let's go ahead and do it. So now, I'm with the 9 games. So
what I will be interested to see is if South Carolina and Georgia makes any schedule changes. Because both of us pretty much have 2 or 3 P4 games from now until like 2035 or 2036. So I'm interested to see if we make changes to that, or if we just say this is what it is. Let's ride.
maybe make a change because I think like in 1 year we're supposed to play Louisville, Florida State, and Clemson, or Louisville, Florida State, something like that. It's like 3, and then Georgia Tech at the end. I'm pretty sure one of them may get dropped, possibly, and so we'll have 11 P4 games with one money game. Because I think the money games. I think a lot of the coaches actually do. Not just because it's lesser competition, but because they like to help out the smaller schools. Because just think about this: if all the money games go away, what are the smaller schools going to do with their athletic budget? That's gonna, I mean, some of these schools are getting paid, a couple of million to travel, and that million helps out their athletic budget. So if they say, all right, well, we'll just schedule all P4s, and then now it's like, okay, well, what do the G5s do? Now the G5s would have to go to their own championship playoff or something like that, because if we're not playing a G5, like if a G5 can't say, like this year Navy plays Notre Dame. Navy can't say, well, we played Notre Dame close, or we upset Notre Dame. Like if they don't have any wins on their resume, how do you let them in the playoffs?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, if you went to all Power 4 games, then 100% the group of 5 is getting their own championship.
Right. They're gonna have to. So, all right, what's going on? My cousin in the building. So what's up? We appreciate you tapping in. Shouty in the building. What's going on, Shouty? Hey man, just talking a little SEC football. College football is back. Week 0 was listen, we'll talk a little bit. Let's step outside the conference for a little bit and talk Iowa State and Kansas State. Slop fest because of the field conditions, not necessarily because of the teams. A little bit, but the field conditions were terrible. The weather wasn't good. I'm gonna be honest, as a Georgia guy, SEC guy, I don't ever. We talked about this. I don't want to see SEC go over there. I just don't.
It broke my heart that the first text message I sent you of the new Christian college football season was the SEC better never step foot in Ireland. Broke my heart to text that, but bro, the field was horrible shape. Like that, like I don't want to see somebody get hurt. I don't want to see the slipping and sliding. A funny thing to note from that game is that Avery Johnson's dad showed more fight after the game than his son did during the game. But
right.
Maybe he was like, man, I told you we should have taken that $5 million from Tennessee.
Right. And then they put out an apology, and then they suspend Avery Johnson. I'm like, how you suspend Avery Johnson for his dad getting into a fight with his own family?
Yeah.
Like
I didn't see that. Avery Johnson got suspended.
Listen, I saw it on Twitter, and I was wondering. I didn't have time to click on the link to verify or not, but that's what I was seeing. I'm hoping that's not the case, because I'm like, bro, how y'all gonna you know what I'm saying, do that to my guy? And he didn't even do nothing. So, but anyway, man, it was football's back, and it was bad. Like I tweeted a couple people. I mean, texted a couple people. Was like, hey man, it's bad football, but it's football. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, Shawty, we're gonna send Shawty the link so he can jump in here. Let me see. I might have to email it to you, Shawty. Copy this. Yep. All right. So next up, man, we got SEC contenders. So this year, is the SEC more wide open? I saw something. I want to say it was Andy Staples, and whoever he does his show with said that he's taking the field. He's not taking Texas, Alabama, or Georgia to win the SEC. You think that's the case?
I mean, I think the field has a shot to get the other team in there, but I ain't put no money on that. Like, if you told me I had to place a bet on it, and I'm either taking one of those 3 teams of the field, give me those 3 teams. Like, I mean, Ole Miss and LSU have a shot to make it to Atlanta. There's hype around South Carolina. I don't know if I'm that hyped about it to say we could go to Atlanta. But, I mean, realistically, you're still looking at maybe like 5, maybe 6 teams that could make it. I think the reason why people are talking so much about the field, there's a ton of hype around OU going 10-2. There's a ton of hype around Florida going 10-2. And so if those 2 things happen, now you're looking at, anywhere from like 8 to 9 teams potentially fighting for those 2 playoff spots. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm not. If you telling me I'm taking either Georgia, Texas, or Alabama or the field, I'm gonna take the trio to win the SEC. Not to say anybody couldn't, because LSU's getting a lot of hype as well. So, again, South Carolina could go on a heater at the end of the year, like they did last year. You got, like you say, OU. People are saying Florida is better than other people think. Just a side note. When people say some stuff like he's faster than people think, how fast is that? How fast do people think he is? Like when we say OU's going to be better than people think, what do people think OU's going to be, or what do we think Florida's going to be? That's just a little pet peeve. Side note.
So when I guess they're going to be better than people think. I guess that means the people be in Vegas who have their over under at like 6.5 or 7.5. But
right, I got you.
He's faster than people think. You know my reply to that. He's a good kid.
That means that people really didn't think much of him, so he's gonna be slightly average, and people thought he was gonna be below average. So, yep. All right, man. So, okay, so are we in agreement that overall, we probably, if you had to take the field or you had to take the group of 3, Bama, Texas, Georgia, you taking Bama, Texas, Georgia?
Yeah, for sure. Because you asked me to give you 4 contenders, and that was 3 of them. So if I only have 4 teams that realistically I think are making it to Atlanta, and that's 3 of them, right, I'm done to take the field because I don't know if the 4th one can do it.
Right. So, okay. So I think we both got those 3 as contenders. So let's talk about the 4th. The 4th is where we may differ. And let's talk about some, like I actually got about 2 to 3 teams that can fit that 4th spot. Who are your guys?
So my contention for that 4th spot was going to be LSU, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Missouri.
Okay. So Ole Miss, LSU, South Carolina, Missouri. One of those 4 taking that 4th spot. My cousin is a LSU guy because our other cousin actually graduated from LSU. Told you in the Fowler family, we all SEC. He said, but I'm rooting for the Gamecocks to make it to the top 10. How about that? All right. Little SEC family love there.
Appreciate it.
For that 4th spot, I'm going with LSU. I don't really know what Missouri is doing at quarterback. I think if South Carolina's defense can return to form like they did last year, then they're possible. And I'm gonna put OU in that 4th spot just because if John Mateer is able to replicate 2/3 of what he did last year, that's double the offense that they had last year. So, hey, man, we got another one of our guys joining us today, man. It's our guy, Shawty Parker from Just My Damn Opinion. What's going on, Shawty?
Gentlemen, what's happening?
Hey, college football week 1, Shawty, man. It's here. We've been waiting. We've been fiending. And before we know it, it'll be over. So we need to enjoy it, man. We're in here talking some SEC championship game contenders. So, listen. This is what I was telling Stat as you was joining. You might have heard a little bit of it. So I was looking at Andy Staples. I want to say it was his podcast or whatever. He says if you had to take the field or you had to take the trio of Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, which one are you taking to win the SEC? So it's either you got
the SEC conference
to win the conference. He said he taking the field.
Go with those 3.
Yeah, he said he's
going to be one of those 3.
That's what he said. He says he's taking the field. He says LSU's looking. He gave points for LSU, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and it was one more. Missouri. But again, I don't know what Missouri is doing at quarterback, so I don't know if I'm ready to put them in there right now.
I mean, you can probably give points for maybe 5, maybe 16, maybe even 7 if you want to, but more than likely, probability wise, it should be one of those 3.
So so we all 3 agree on the top 3. But if we had to pick 4 contenders to make it to Atlanta, who's the 4th team? That's where me and Stat got some similar, some not so similar. I said, LSU, South Carolina, possibly Oklahoma. I like Ole Miss's offense, but they lost a ton on defense. So I don't know if I'm ready to put them up there. Who are the teams that can fight for that 4th spot for you?
So I would probably put them in tiers.
Okay.
So I would say you will probably have 2 teams in one tier up under that, which would be probably LSU and call the first 3 with Georgia, Alabama, and
Texas.
Texas, right? Yeah. So you probably have LSU in that next tier.
Okay.
Then I would probably say Florida.
Okay. You like DJ Lightway and company?
Yeah, I like potentially what they can be. I like, especially from a defensive standpoint, also. And if and I like what they can do offensive. DJ stay healthy, all that goes well.
Right.
Then I would probably have a tier after that,
mm-hmm.
where I would probably go like South Carolina, Oklahoma, maybe Auburn.
Okay.
Then maybe one other team. Then then the last tier would be people who just definitely don't have a shot.
Right. But
Ole Miss, I forgot about Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. So the separation between you had LSU and Florida in that next tier, right behind the big 3, and then you had Oklahoma, South Carolina, and one more. But what's the difference in that? Is it you ain't seen their quarterbacks consistently? You ain't seen their defense consistently? Like, what separates LSU and South Carolina? Because they both got dynamic quarterbacks.
I was just gonna say now, South Carolina don't have the problem. South Carolina and LSU don't have the problem that 80% of the rest of the conference has, which is no true proven quarterback coming back. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's about, to me, I get that point, but it's also more about what that quarterback has around him. Because if you got a lot around that quarterback, you don't need that quarterback to be a great quarterback.
Right.
He just don't turn the ball over, don't lose games. You know what I'm saying? You might have to make a throw here and there that's, wow, so that you truly an SEC player. But other than that, it's almost like, the old school, I hate to say it, Kirby Smart days and, not Kirby Smart, but Nick Saban days, where you have great teams around, pretty good, high rated quarterbacks, but they ain't off the scale, off the charts, really doing nothing great.
Right. So the weapons around now, South Carolina did get some good news today. Rasul, is that his name? Stat?
Yeah.
Rasul got from Utah State, the running back transfer, had 1,100 yards last year, got cleared by the NCAA to actually play today, not just practice. So that definitely helped, because I think last year of course, Sellers did his thing last year, but Rocket Sanders was a big part of that as well, because he ran like the old Rocket Sanders that we knew when he first got to Arkansas, and they're looking for Rasul to do the same thing. Now at LSU got one of the best wide receiver rooms in the nation. So, I mean,
and quarterback.
And quarterback, definitely a Heisman. Both of them Heisman candidates. I would put Nuss higher on that list. The odds, I think, are better and more in favor. But I would say this, though. I think Sellers had, if you just saying Heisman moments, Sellers is probably more likely to have a Heisman moment. Nuss is more likely to have a Heisman season. See what I'm saying? Like, Sellers can get out of, 2 guys in the backfield, spin out of it, jump over something. Nuss ain't doing that. Nuss just gonna dot you up.
Let me ask you and Stat Guy this right here. This is kind of how I look at it, and you guys can maybe look at it different. Like, I think Sellers is a great quarterback, especially when you're talking about college.
Right.
But I don't think that having a great receiving core benefits him like a great receiving core benefits a Nussmeier, right?
So Nuss, it's 2 different parts. So I don't think Nuss necessarily needs great receivers because of what he can do with the football. him having great receivers, his stats are just going to be crazy. But I think if the wide receiver room takes a step forward for Lenoris, it's going to make what he does in making plays better, because towards the end of the year, when he would break out of sacks, his eyes were immediately back downfield. And so if we see the wide receivers take a step forward in either route running or what they do in the scramble drill, we could see his numbers improve. And that's where having a great wide receiver core could really benefit from it.
I kind of echo that sentiment. I think definitely Nuss still like Nuss can make elite wide receivers look even better. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Sellers can't, but Sellers, in my opinion, and we just saying pass catchers, I think Sellers needs a dynamic tight end more so than he needs a dynamic receiver. You know what I'm saying? Because because of the style of offense. These are two different style of offenses, right? Because last year, you know, Nick Harbor and Maziel Bennett Jr. were the top two reception getters for South Carolina, but the guy that he went to when he was in trouble was the tight end. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if he had a Brock Bowers per se, I think long as the people on the outside were serviceable, then it wouldn't matter. But with Nuss is going to elevate them. Like last year, Nuss threw for 4,000 yards, and I think his tallest receiver was like 5'10". You know what I'm saying? Like if he had a Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas or something like that, this dude might have threw for about 6. You know what I'm saying? That's because of what he can do. Now, what I will say is between the two, if you don't have the wide receivers, then I'm taking Sellers. Because in a 3rd down and 6 situation, and let's just use Georgia's 2024 receivers who had the most drops in the nation. If Nuss got those guys, then Nuss ain't got nothing to do but trust them to try to catch the ball. And maybe they catch it, maybe they don't. With Sellers, if they're not catching the ball, Sellers can get that 6 yards. That's the difference, I think, between the two quarterbacks. But when we talking NFL, it's all Nuss for me. You know what I'm saying? Because Nuss got the arm. Nuss can make all the throws. Now, that's not to say the Sellers won't get drafted high, because I think that's what they're talking about, you know, top 10, top 15 pick or whatever. He got a lot of tools, but we'll see how that work out. So
I will say, too, a name for y'all to both keep your eyes on this year is number 20 for South Carolina, Micah Smith, who will be the starting tight end. I expect him to be a huge part of the offense. Just because
all right, go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, just because of the type of system we run. Sellers loves the tight end on using it coming late across, like kind of following him on the scramble route in like that 5 to 7 yard route. Just kind of following him across the middle of the field when he rolls out of the pocket. And just kind of a safety blanket. The one thing I am interested to see, I think our wide receiver room is ample amount better than it was last year. We have some dynamic freshmen, and it sucks because my big thing is I never want to depend on freshmen. I just want to enjoy them being freshmen. But we have 2 guys at wide receiver at freshmen that could make differences this year. And if they do, I think you see Lenoris's numbers obviously greatly improve in the passing game, and the passing game overall just looks smoother.
I think the way that Lenoris plays, unless you know there has been some, which you should see, which is he had another year in the offense, some strides in his mechanics and the way just he plays offense. It should work out like this right here. Generally, it works out like this with a type of player like that. Your tight end should lead the team in receptions,
right?
But you should have like your big body guy like Nick Harbor. He should lead you in yards per catch. Your running back should have an awesome season, and Lenoris should be number 2 in rushing. That's generally how, when you have players like him, that's generally how it should work out on offense.
I think last year
you that receiver, he's not the delivery system.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's how it worked out last year. Nick Harbor led in yards per catch. The tight end didn't lead in reception, but he was the go-to guy. And
he led in receptions.
Oh, he did lead in receptions? Okay, yeah. I got you.
That same thing go with, I'm not saying these people, but I'm just giving you an example. That's kind of how Lamar Jackson goes. That's kind of how Michael Vick goes. The tight ends are going to be they are the safety valves, and they always in the middle of the field. They be able to see them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, the one thing I will say is they better hope we don't go 10-2 or 11-1 because they will see Lenore's in New York because he will have the Heisman moments as long as we win football games. Yeah. He's going to break sacks. He's going to have those crazy highlight runs that they show on ESPN 19 times a night. Right. So if we win the football games, I really don't care what his stats are. He's going to have the moments that he'll at least have a shot at the table.
Right. I noticed in our contenders list, nobody listed Tennessee who actually made the playoffs. Is that because they lost Nico, or do you think they kind of got in by the skin of their teeth last year? Because some reports say they might have upgraded by addition by subtraction with Nico, because he was good, but he wasn't 5-star good like he was built out to be. And Joey looks to be, from reports, more comfortable in the system. What y'all think?
I don't think the team is better overall, though. Even if they improve with the guy that transferred from, what was it, Appalachian State or something like that?
Appalachian to UCLA for about a month or two weeks or something, and then
I mean, Granted, you got an older guy, much more mature guy. I can see him making maybe possible, better decisions and things like that. But even if you improved at the quarterback position, even if you did, I don't think you did, because I think Nico still had a higher ceiling.
I got you.
But I don't think the team around him is better enough to make up that gap and that difference. They lost too much.
My reasoning for not being high on Tennessee, you lost the leading rusher in the SEC. And if you know ball, yes, Tennessee likes to spread it out, but they do so by gashing you with the run first. Right. And so they lost their guy. And I've seen the reports that they've upgraded. I don't think, how can you say you upgraded by bringing in the guy that led the nation in interceptions, playing in the Sun Belt? Now he's coming and throwing against SEC cornerbacks? Nah, not an upgrade.
It's going to be interesting. Right, going to be interesting. I got Jay Lou say, what's up, fellas? Ready for this weekend? Listen, of course we are. We were so ready that we sat through some bad football on Saturday. Well, some of it was bad. Some of it was entertaining. Hawaii takes down Stanford. If the ACC, right, doing whatever dance, old buddy, the 7-year senior getting the penalty after getting the sack or whatever. But if the ACC wasn't already struggling for notoriety, losing to Hawaii didn't help that. You know what I'm saying? So be real, it was bad. It was college football though, J. Lou. That's what I was telling some of the dogs that I was talking to on Saturday. Listen, it was a taste. It was better than not having it. How about that? It was better than not having it. And then there was some good high school football on. There was over 40 Power 4 commits playing on Saturday. The guy, Chris Henry Jr., number 1 wide receiver in the nation for Mater Dei and St. Thomas Aquinas, got interesting. I mean, football is back. That's what the biggest thing is. You know what I'm saying? So it's time for us to talk about the playoffs, though. So last year, the SEC had 3 teams make the playoffs: Georgia, Texas, and Tennessee. No Alabama, no Ole Miss, no South Carolina, no LSU. What are we thinking this year? Shawty, give me 4 teams that you think from the SEC gonna make the SEC. I don't know what their record gonna be. You ain't gotta talk about that, but just the 4 teams you think gonna make it.
That's gonna make the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think you named 3 of them: Texas, Alabama, Georgia, and that 4th team. Ooh, that's where it definitely gets interesting. I would probably say, because a lot of this got to do based off schedule. Like Florida, as good as they are, they have a hell of a tough schedule.
They do.
Oklahoma's schedule is tough. Granted, they got a lot of their big games at home, but it's still a tough schedule. I'm gonna say LSU.
Okay, we're gonna go LSU. Stat guy, what about you? You thinking same 4, or because the thing is, if 2 of the big 3 make it, that's where things get dicey. Because if 2 of the big 3 make it, it's kind of like the college basketball tournament. you want some upsets if you're a smaller team, but you know what I'm saying. But if you are in one of these bigger conferences, you want to go status quo. So if Georgia and Texas play again for the SEC championship, and Alabama gets in the playoffs, who's that fourth team? Because it goes down the record, head to head. Y'all play LSU, y'all play Oklahoma. Oklahoma plays LSU.
What it's going to come down to is a game in Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough living out there.
And
Yep. Don't let it be a night game.
it's flex too. It might end up being night.
Look, they have all day to drink. Oh my Lord.
Look, we talk about as fans circling games. Right. And that game has been circled since the pick six got called back last year for different reasons. But this year, I truly believe that that's the game that could decide if South Carolina has a chance to sneak into the SEC championship. And it's definitely the game that I think will decide the two of them to see who that fourth team is in the playoffs. I think it's between South Carolina and LSU. Now, obviously, a lot could change Saturday. If LSU gets ran out of Memorial Stadium in Pickens County, then
what if they run the table afterwards, though?
Yeah, I said they got a lot of time to recover.
That's the schedule they play doesn't just say, let me go run this schedule one time after getting ran out of Memorial Stadium. If they get taken to the woodshed Saturday, I think they're an 8-4 team.
And a lot of parts don't come out the gate fast. He loses. He don't lost his openers ever since he's been there.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like when we say take it to the woodshed, and it'll look bad. But think about this. Let me give you a scenario. It's 2022. Oregon lines up against the Dogs. Oregon gets absolutely railroaded and then literally wins 11 games.
Right. But after they get railroaded by Georgia, they didn't play Alabama. They didn't have to play South Carolina. Like, the schedules are different. Like,
that's true.
But like I said, but the odds are against him to win anyway. He hasn't won a home opener since he's been there.
Right.
Like he changed his whole program technically around winning the first game opener this year.
Well, that's why I don't think the loss affects them. What I'm saying is if they get beat like 31-7, like if they get legit taken to the woodshed.
You saying if they can't hang with Clemson, then they're not going to be able to hang throughout the entirety of their schedule.
It's going to give me some real cause for concern because the thing is Clemson, but Clemson has question marks as well that they should be able to hit against. Clemson's secondary is one of them. They have an incredible passing attack. So if they can't move the football or they get sloshed down by Clemson and the game gets ugly, it's going to raise a lot of red flags about who LSU is and what they're capable of. And then in that scenario, so if you tell me Clemson wins 31-7, then I'm probably thinking that fourth team is then going to be just an absolute wild card, whether it's South Carolina, Ole Miss slides back into the consideration for me. But I'm not high on Ole Miss because I worry about their defense. And to me, I know he does it every year, but in my mind, one of these years, Lane Kiffin isn't going to hit on all these transfers. One of these years, it's not going to click. So,
right. Well, if you're just tuning in, welcome into the Fan Addict. It's the SEC Snap Count every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesdays on the Fan Addict, you can catch Respect the Hedges, talking Georgia football. And this Thursday starts our new show, The Stat Line, talking all South Carolina football with our guy, the Stat Guy, having former Gamecock football players, rival fans, things of that nature. Y'all make sure to tune in. Now, what I want to say to continue this conversation is the best of the rest is what we're talking about, the best of the rest. And y'all have to play everybody that we named. And nobody named Texas A&M, even though there's some media pundits out there high on Texas A&M. Y'all play Oklahoma. South Carolina plays Oklahoma. South Carolina plays Bama. South Carolina plays LSU. And South Carolina plays Texas A&M. And Ole Miss. So that's listen again, scheduling, and this is one of those things to touch back on those 9 games that we upgraded to in the SEC. But I think that's gonna have a lot to do with it. Y'all get LSU on the road, but y'all get Alabama, Oklahoma at home. Y'all have to go to Texas A&M, and if I'm not mistaken, y'all got to go to Ole Miss, right?
To Ole Miss.
So, and then not for nothing, y'all finished the season with Clemson. So LSU and Clemson will have a, pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, y'all got a lot of apples to apples comparison because LSU also plays Bama, LSU also plays Oklahoma, and LSU plays Clemson in the beginning. So it's going to be important how they play against Clemson because
they play A&M too.
And they play A&M, so it look like y'all got a lot of similar games. You see what I'm saying? But they play Auburn. Y'all don't play Auburn, right?
No, I wish.
Right, I got you. So at the end of the day, if you were to lose at Baton Rouge, now they have the head-to-head up on you, or if you beat them, y'all got the head-to-head. But I also think it comes down to in these, if it works out the way we're talking, it could work out totally different. But it could work out just like, okay, well. It took a late fumble for South Carolina to lose to, I don't know, OU, but LSU lost by 14 or something like that. I don't know. So it's gonna come down to that. And this round robin thing could get real interesting. That's kind of what happened last year. Ole Miss was 9-3, South Carolina was 9-3, Alabama was 9-3, Tennessee was 10-2?
10-2.
So it was like, and then the crazy thing is
the rankings was gonna clear all that up.
The rankings will clear it up, but you got to think as a CFP committee member, they got to be in there if they got the same records. Let's just say this. Oklahoma beats LSU. LSU beats South Carolina, and South Carolina beat Oklahoma. Now you got a round robin. And those three teams had the same exact record. You see what I'm saying?
But it's going to be about where they're in the pole position. That's what I'm saying. The rankings going to clear it up. It's going to be about who they play. Because at this particular point, moving forward, your strength of schedule is going to matter a lot more than a lot of other things.
Right. At the end of last year, though, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and Bama, when they was questioning if they could possibly get in, they were all around the same. They like the CFP was debating about who should be ranked higher, who should be ranked lower, things of that nature because of the round robin.
Who was ranked hard? Was it Bama or South Carolina?
Bama. So
Bama. So
Bama was 12th, Ole Miss was 13th, and we were 14th. The problem was we lost to both teams head to head, but clearly we were the best team over the last 6 weeks. But how do you jump two teams that you lost to head to head? And that's what it came. I mean, you can't.
I'm saying your pole position, that's why your body of work is going to be like, that's what puts you in with pole position. It's going to be about your body of work.
And that's part of the reason why I hate preseason rankings. Now, I like them a lot more this year that we're ranked 13th to start the year. we weren't ranked to start the year last year. So we had to make up a lot of ground. But the fact that we're ranked 13th to start the year, if we're undefeated heading to Baton Rouge, we're probably top 5, maybe top 7, something like that. So it's like, I'm cool with it because that loss isn't going to kill us. It's not going to completely cut our leg out from under us.
So that'd be my point to people who we want to say it don't matter. Trust me, it does matter. It just depends on
it matters because the CFP will come out in week 10, give us their first rankings and say we don't care about the AP poll. Well, you do care about the AP poll if you tell me in the first week of your poll, you tell me such and such team got 2 ranked wins. How they got any ranked wins? Wasn't nobody ranked before this week. So if wasn't nobody ranked before this week, they can't have a ranked win. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why it's like you are looking at the AP poll when you say, okay, at this point, South Carolina has a ranked win over Oklahoma. And it's like, well, that's the AP rankings. That's not y'all rankings. So if you don't look at AP rankings, how do they already have a ranked win? Because this is the first week you're actually doing your rankings. So that's my only, like you say, it don't matter as far as like, okay, you could be 1 or 2. I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, if you take care of business on the field, then it doesn't matter. When you lose a game 2 or 3, that preseason ranking absolutely does matter. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the end of the year, like Shane Beamer, of course, what coaches do. Shane Beamer was lobbying for his team, and DeBoer was lobbying for his, and of course Lane Kiffin was lobbying for his. And while all of that was going on, in the very last week of the season, Texas was playing Texas A&M for a spot in the playoffs because A&M at the time was 8-3. So had they beat Texas, they would have been 9-3, and then Texas would have been 10-2, but they'd have had the head-to-head. So that at least would have let them, have a argument to get in the playoffs. So no love for Texas A&M for contending for the SEC or making the playoffs.
I'm not high on Marcel Reed at all. I just don't think he's a good quarterback. They're screaming. Everybody and their mom is screaming with Le'Veon Moss. Like, we watched his knee get blown out in Columbia. Who is he going to be this year? I mean, the kid's special, but what is he going to be coming off of the knee injury that he suffered?
I think he'll be good, but I don't think he'll be what he was. Not this year. I think next year, whether it's NFL or I don't know what year he is. I don't know if it's another year at A&M or it's NFL. I think the next year, I mean, we see that all the time. We see guys come back from ACL injuries, but that very next year, like Nick Chubb, after his ACL injury in 2015, came back in 2016, ran for 1,000 yards, but it wasn't the same Nick Chubb that ran for 1,500 yards in 7 or 8 games his freshman year. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see that, and Adrian Peterson's done it multiple times. But when you first come back, it's not even the physical; it's the mental. So I just don't think Le'Veon Moss gonna be that same guy. I think gonna be good, but I don't know if he's gonna be that same guy. So Shawty, no love for the Aggies.
Listen, they're gonna be exactly who they are, and has always been 8-5.
Hey, one
which
of the
is
players.
a good year. That's a good year. I mean, that's a good year. They have a chance to be 9-3,
Right.
but no more than that. They're gonna be who they normally are. Because I do think with the second year of this coach, you can see a jump. I always say, I can't put words in nobody's mouth, but I always think that second year is one of the biggest leaps that coaches have in there. Anybody just in that second year, because you're just more acclimated to things, you got things kind of together. So I could see them maybe breaking that normal 8-4 year to 9-3.
Well, I think one of their players was asked about that so-called thought process about them always being 8-4, whatever. He said, "Yeah, we know that's what they say. It's all 8-4, but we again saying that that's something they thinking about, that they trying to overcome the stigma." You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
that's what it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Until you show us otherwise, to Stat guy said earlier.
Listen, I've been saying the same thing, dog. Like, listen, Johnny Manziel was an amazing quarterback, but I told him for all his amazingness, they never finished better than third in the West. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just what it is. So I don't know. I think they'll be good. Maybe they're one of these teams, and
They're always good, Cole. 8-4 is a good year. I mean, it is. That's a good year.
Hey, to your words, they get that same piece of the pie that everybody else get. Why they can't do, and not to mention
they got a little more. They got some more.
They get the same piece of the pie that we get in the postseason, but they got some more desserts over there too in A&M. So I don't know what's going on.
I was about to say they got an ice cream machine with all the toppings sitting at it, man. Like,
I don't know, man. So who's a team that could absolutely wreck the SEC, even if they don't make it to the SEC championship or the playoffs, because maybe they have a couple of upsets?
Florida.
I could definitely see that.
But they would make the play if Florida do it to
Coach's
point. They would make the playoff.
Well, I guess that's saying they still go 8-4, but you change the wins. You see what I'm saying? Like, because they basically, I mean, Ole Miss had it on the line going to Florida. That's what I'm talking about. They had it on the line. If Ole Miss beats Florida, they're in the playoffs, and then Florida beat them, wreck their season. You see what I'm saying?
So maybe that again. Maybe they catch y'all in Jacksonville. Maybe they get Tennessee. I'm just saying, like, to me, Florida makes the most sense because
not
how many of the teams they not eight. Man, Texas A&M, Marcel Reed is so bad. Why? Look, No, you want to know whose season A&M's probably going to wreck?
You
I'll tell
say
you who A&M's going to wreck. Probably my season because we've never won in Aggie Land.
Right. Shawty, you say the Razorbacks hog. Wow.
And now all it takes is for them to be 2 games better than they were last year. Cause what, they was 7-5 last year.
Something 7-5 or 6-6, and then they won the bowl game. Or I have to go back and
But regular season with 12 games, right?
Yeah, I think they might have been 7-5. They might have been.
I think it was 7-5. Because they was 7-5 last year. 2 more wins would put them at 9-3.
Ooh, or like I said, to wreck somebody's season, you could go the same record and just be.
Oh, I'm sorry, I heard the question wrong. I mean,
yeah,
you said wreck
not
season.
even. Yeah, wreck somebody else's season. Like Vandy goes to South Carolina. Vandy plays Alabama. You know what I'm saying? So it's like maybe they could possibly have the same record, but they beat different teams at different, and when you take a loss matters as well. Like, South Carolina finished the season on a blazer, but those early losses to early loss to LSU hurt them. You know what I mean?
Arkansas.
So Arkansas 2024 schedule, they went 6-6 and then won their bowl game. Yep, and then won their bowl game against Texas Tech.
If Arkansas can go to Oxford and beat Ole Miss and a frail in Tennessee and Knoxville.
But neither one of them are playoff teams. They're ranked 21 and 24. They're not in our playoff contention. So as far as playoff teams that they play, they get Notre Dame, Texas, and they get LSU. So, I mean, they have the potential for 3, but
they got to go to LSU, but it's a noon snoozer, so it's not the same mystique that you have normally. Texas, they play Texas at Texas. Not going to be good. That's a midday. That's a 3:30 or a night game. Not that they can't be beat there. Arkansas got a hard schedule, boy.
I'll say, they play everywhere they go on the road.
They play at Ole Miss. They play at Memphis. They get Notre Dame at home. They play at Tennessee. They get Texas A&M at home, Auburn at home, Mississippi State at home. Then they finish the season going to LSU, to Austin to play Texas, and then get Missouri. Jesus. And no, listen, man. They start out with Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. Hey, man, they're gonna try to take it out on them because they're gonna have a fight on their hands every week after that.
Look, I tell you what, that 3-game stretch to end the season,
that might be
isn't what you need if you're Sam Pittman fighting for his life.
And Memphis ain't no easy win if they beat Memphis.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So you think they're gonna go to the Grove and
they might be Ole Miss. I ain't calling Ole Miss this year, but it just depends on which a lot of teams. It depends on that quarterback because he did look good when he played against us. But
this is what I've always said. Outside of 2024, Lane Kiffin usually doesn't play good on the road, but he plays good at home. No matter what the team look like, what the offense look like. Last year they kind of put it together where they was outside of going to LSU. They was actually pretty good at home and away. LSU in Florida. But I don't know if Arkansas got the manpower to go in there at night on the Grove.
I just looked at their schedule and I'm being very gracious. I can't get them more than 7 wins.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I think they could. They could potentially beat Ole Miss. They could potentially beat Tennessee.
I counted those too.
Yeah. But they're not winning those last 3. Those last 3 are
that's tough. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, just looking at their schedule, if I want to go ahead and give them some guaranteed wins, I'm gonna say Alabama, A&M, Arkansas State, and Mississippi State. Every other game on their schedule, they literally could lose.
Yeah.
That's tough living. That's tough living right there.
With the coach on the hot seat.
With a coach on the hot seat.
He already on. He already on the hot seat.
Yeah, with a coach on the hot seat, like you say, already on the hot seat. So
maybe a foot out the door. Maybe he's got some boxes in his office. Like,
Hey, it's be like that, man. The SEC is brutal, and next year it ain't getting no easier for South Carolina's always a top 10 schedule, and you just this is the thing. Technically, if Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, and Kentucky didn't want to add any more OOCs, they still fit the criteria. They'll have 9 SEC games and then their rivalry game at the end of the year. So it's the other 12 teams that have to make sure they add somebody if they already aren't playing another OOC. So,
but it just
go ahead. Okay, I was gonna say I do have one final question. Who do you think y'all's 3 permanents are gonna be?
I think for sure it's going to be Florida and Auburn, and then I think the third one. If I had to go by what I thought it was, I think I would be Tennessee. But then when you start thinking about the other side of that, who Tennessee would get, then it's either going to be Tennessee or South Carolina. So I would say Tennessee, but Tennessee's definitely going to play Alabama. They're definitely going to play Vandy. Then it comes down to what do they want to see every year more, Tennessee, Florida, or Tennessee, Georgia. So if they want to see Tennessee, Florida more, then Georgia will get South Carolina. If they don't care, then Tennessee, then Florida would get LSU, Georgia, and see Florida's third one. They don't really have a third one outside of Tennessee, whereas Georgia could, they could say, well, South Carolina. They've actually played South Carolina more times than they played Tennessee. So
for South Carolina, I was sitting down, scratching out kind of what it would look like. I think South Carolina's getting Missouri, A&M, and Georgia, and I hate every second of it. Like
because first of all, it's Georgia, and then second of all, you don't play well when you go to Columbia, Missouri, or when you go to College Station.
Right. We've never won in College Station. We've been sub 500 against Missouri, I think, since they've joined the SEC. So it's like that's tough living. And then Georgia's Georgia, but I would love to see Kentucky. I would love to see Kentucky instead of Georgia, but I think we make the most sense for each other.
Well, especially the thing
is, 2 games being so far away.
Right, but when this is the thing, and I'm gonna let Shawty jump in here with his take on it. But from the other side of that coin, Kentucky outside of Tennessee, that's another thing. Like Tennessee and Kentucky really hate each other. So if you go by like supposed rivals or whatever, then Kentucky would be a fit for Tennessee, not more so than Florida or Georgia. But Kentucky doesn't have anybody in the SEC that they're other than South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like South Carolina, they have like, have like a little thing. It's not a real rivalry, you know what I'm saying? But it's the closest thing they got outside of Tennessee. So I think Kentucky's just going to be one of those teams that's over in the little bucket over here. And when the team needs a third one, they're going to say, all right, we're going to throw Kentucky in there.
I was going to say the last point, and I'll let Shorty jump in, was so we have a trophy with A&M, which is dumb because nobody's ever seen it. It's in a state house somewhere. They don't even bring it to the game. It's some old relic. And then they call the South Carolina Missouri game the Columbia Bowl. Dumb. Like I don't care about throw the trophy away. I'll tell you what, I'll take Georgia. Take Georgia every year. We'll also take Vandy and Kentucky and we'll call it even.
Wow. No, Stat, come on now.
Fair.
You just trying to get some guaranteed victories on the schedule.
You darn right.
So your take on it, Shawty?
Nah, I can't say nothing. I agree with everything y'all said, man. I don't really have much else to add to it. I agree with everything y'all said.
Yeah, I think teams like Mississippi State, Kentucky, and this is not just because their records, but when you think about it, there's no budding rivalries. Mississippi State going to definitely get Ole Miss, but outside of that, there's no budding rivalries for them. They're outside of Tennessee. Vandy doesn't have any budding rivalries. Kentucky,
the lower down the totem pole, the harder it really gets.
Right, and I think there's gonna be at least like 4 teams. I'm trying to think of that last team that might be. They're gonna put those 4 teams in a bucket, and when somebody needs an extra one, they're gonna say grab one of them And then once that team has 3, then that's going to be it. Because even Arkansas and Texas go back to the, what is it called? The Southwest Conference or whatever. So Arkansas has them. Arkansas has LSU, and technically Arkansas has Ole Miss. Like all of those, they dislike each other. Oklahoma, Texas got people. Texas could be Oklahoma. Now Texas, I would say, only has 2 real, and they could just draw an extra. Texas and Oklahoma and Texas A&M. Oh, Arkansas, Texas. Yeah, in Arkansas.
And then Oklahoma, you have Oklahoma,
Missouri.
Texas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Now I'll tell you what, if you give me Kentucky, I will take Oklahoma and Georgia. Sign me up today. Sign me up. We will gladly. Yes, please.
BNG, what's going on, my guy, resident Texas fan? We just ending the show today talking about the 9 conference games. Who would you want your 3 permanent opponents to be? Of course, for you, we know OU's going to be one of them. And then would you want the other 2? Because really, outside of Texas and maybe Mizzou, Oklahoma doesn't really have that third budding rivalry or anything like that. So they may end up with like a Vandy or Mississippi State.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah.
I would say Texas should be a rivalry for Georgia, but to make it a rivalry, you got to win some games. You know what I'm talking about?
You don't think that Texas is locked in with Arkansas, Oklahoma, and A&M?
I could see that. But then Oklahoma would have Texas, maybe Mizzou, and who's their third? Then that's what I say. You take one of those out the bucket. You say Mississippi State, or you say, you say Vandy, or you say Kentucky. So this is at the end of the day, somebody, hey man, Pavi ain't gonna be there forever. Somebody got to play Vandy. Somebody got to play Mississippi State.
BNG out in them streets.
Hey, BNG out here. Listen, y'all need a loan. Y'all holler at BNG, man. BNG fly third class from Austin to Columbus, Ohio for the game this weekend. Traditional rivalries for us. Who cares who OU gets? Right. So traditional rivalries for Texas would be OU, A&M, and Arkansas. Hey, that's a little tough sledding, but hey, to be honest with you, no matter how they shake it for Georgia, it ain't gonna be sweet. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's Auburn, Florida, South Carolina, or Auburn, Florida, and Tennessee. Like again, we're not. I can guarantee this.
Auburn and Florida ain't going nowhere for sure.
Right. I can guarantee you this: Georgia won't be playing Vandy or Mississippi State. I can tell you that.
What do you think? Could they do something crazy and give both of us Kentucky?
I can say we'll probably get Kentucky if it was a shot at one of those lower tier teams. It'll probably be Kentucky.
Okay. So that would mean Tennessee would go Vandy, Bama, Florida. Okay, and then Kentucky would be y'all, us, maybe OU. I don't know, because like I say, somebody's gonna have this weird, connection because again, Kentucky doesn't have anybody that they really. And then we would be. I did see something that said we would go Florida. Georgia would have Florida, Auburn, and Kentucky. But I would think, in my mind, it would be South Carolina over Kentucky. But South Carolina could get Texas A&M, Kentucky. Who would your third be?
Mizzou.
No, I don't think it'd be South Carolina. I think it'd be Kentucky over South Carolina.
Mizzou. Yeah. You think Kentucky would be for Georgia? You say Tennessee, it's going to be Kentucky. I can see that. Hey, I take that, to be honest with you, because we know to get. Listen, South Carolina, South Carolina like to come in here every 6-7 years and try to do a little something. So
and that's what I'm saying. They're a tier above Kentucky. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I think when it comes to that, how they did the schedules for the first when Texas Oklahoma came in, they say, okay, let's take the last 5 years, look at y'all records, and then they put them in tiers, kind of like you saying, and they didn't want all the top tiers playing each other. Right. Benji said, I'm just happy we're going to get our rivalry games every year for all programs. Listen, I think out of everybody, Texas probably, when you're talking just rivalries, not how good the teams are, Texas probably going to get, like he said, I think they are going to get OU, A&M, and Arkansas, which is literally all their rivals. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Mississippi State and Vanderbilt got a chance to be better than Kentucky this year.
Ooh, and that's a good note to end.
I really do. I really do. It's a possibility. I think Kentucky that bad.
Ooh. Ooh, that's terrible. By Mark Stoops.
Andy, why is it hard to think Vandy can be better?
I think Vandy can, but you said Mississippi State, though. Mississippi State won.
I think they can.
Ooh. All right.
Kentucky 4.5 win this year.
4.5. Ooh.
So you think Mississippi, if Kentucky gets 4.5 wins, I want to know where these 5 wins Mississippi State coming from.
I'm just saying that Kentucky only predicted to win 4 games. Mississippi State can win 4 games based off the schedule. Because they both playing 3 garbage cans.
2 years ago, there was 10 wins. Now they can't beat. Ooh.
Oh, man, it's over with for Scoop. The program don't quit on it. It's over with for Scoop.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Hey, we appreciate y'all tuning in for us today. We're going to go around here, tell us people what you got going on. Shawty, we'll be back in the house for SEC Snap Count on Wednesday at 8 p.m., but don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Respect the Hedges at 8 p.m. Eastern on the Fanatic.
Well, that's really what Coach just said. Other than that, the day after that, you can find me on Just My Damn Opinion Wednesday nights. Me and Cool Cav and AP, man, my homeboy, doing what we do. But yeah, everything Coach just said, I'll be on Respect the Hedges that night and possibly Snap Count, depending on how things go, like tonight. So yeah,
it is, man. Hey, on the Fanatic, you can come out, you can come join us Monday through Thursday. We got something for you every night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So again, the Snap Count will be back on Wednesday, but we got something for you on Tuesday and Thursday. I'm gonna let Stat get in here, tell us about what he got going on.
Yeah, I'll be here Wednesday. We'll be doing some previewing of Week 1 games, and then you already
predictions.
know
and previews.
Yeah, previews. Oh, we're gonna drop some predictions. We'll see what kind of nonsense I come up with Week 1. Might be talking a little crazy, but I tell y'all, you got to tune in Thursday night for the stat line. We're talking Gamecock football. Coach I's finally letting his boy off the leash, and we're about to turn up on some Gamecock football. I got all the takes. Hey, y'all want to hear about Ledoris winning the Heisman? Y'all want to hear about South Carolina winning the SEC? Tune in Thursday because it's going to be serious.
Right. They're going to get to finally hear what I've been hearing for 20 years when we not on camera about how good South Carolina is. Just to give y'all a little taste, I'll give y'all the intro for our new show, The Stat Line, with our guy, Jeff, the Stat Guy, talking all South Carolina football.
He's not had a pass. Look at this. 4th down. He's not had a snap. Here comes that pressure. Walks it up, looking for Kelly. Touchdown! Can you believe it?
That's right. I got a Stat Guy. Hey, listen, y'all think y'all heard some. Hey, appreciate it. Listen, y'all think y'all have heard some bold takes. Wait till you get on Thursday. We will have somebody from Virginia Tech, represent Virginia Tech on the show Thursday. Carter Hill from Tech Sideline, covering all things Virginia Tech sports. Shout out to Carter Hill for joining us this coming Thursday. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Respect the Hedges. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for everybody on Facebook. Thanks for everybody on YouTube. And we will see y'all later. We are out of here, man.
Peace.